Hello guys, today we will continue with the subreddit world. We'll dive into askreddit subreddit. So let's see if it interesting or we can find something interesting. Oops, NSFW content. So let's go to askreddit. Now, yes, we are here. 1 hour timer. Check that we're recording. Everything sounds good, looks good. So let's start with it. And the first thing is, what are some great science fiction and fantasy movies or novels to get started with? Well, this question is asked 2 minutes ago, so there's no responses here. But some great science fiction, I love all of them. All of science fiction movies, fantasy. Maybe I'm more of a science fiction guy. Fantasy movies, yeah. I also like them, but not like science fiction. Great science fiction movies. Let's think about it. There are so many. Like recently, I was watching Alien again, and yeah, it's just fantastic. The first Alien. I actually saw the Romulus, the newest one, and it wasn't so. It was good. It was good watch, especially for fans of the first one. Okay, let's continue. What things do people romanticize but are actually horrible? Well, the first thing that comes into my mind is serial killers. It is like I just don't understand how people romanticize about them. Charles Manson, who I think he died. Charles Manson, yeah. Yeah. He died in 2017. So when he was in prison, although he's a serial killer, he was a serial killer, he was receiving so many letters from fans. He was receiving so many letters from people. Even women wanted to marry him. I just don't know. But it is actually horrible. But people still romanticize. Let's see what those comments are. Living any time in the past that didn't have running water or toilet paper. That's pretty clever. Yeah, of course. We're so used to our commodities now that we have running water, we have toilet paper, we have kitchens, we can prepare so many meals, so many variety of meals. Like back then, people used to eat only one or two things. Like, think of the Dark Ages. They were just eating, for what they cooked actually. It was only bread and some kind of soup or something like that, some kind of stew. It was all. And of course they ate like fruits and vegetables and all of that, but just think of now, you can eat so many different things. Or antibiotics, yes. It was, in those times, just one small infection could just kill you. Just if you have like a bad tooth, it would just kill you. Because they had no antibiotics and no way to cure you. Let's see a couple more comments. Own and operating a bed and breakfast. Yes, bed, breakfast, yeah. Those are commodities that we are so used to them, but people back then, yeah. Oh, of course, I got confused. I was thinking about this, and I thought that this comment is, yeah, okay, that's comment about the topic. I'm just not so used to Reddit, so maybe you can figure that out, but we will get better. We will get better. Own and operating bed and breakfast. Okay. That's horrible, but people romanticize bed and breakfast. I mean, some kind of a hotel or something. Yeah, maybe it is like that. I don't know. Serial killers. See? Exactly what I said. It is not okay to be in love with a cannibal that killed 17 young boys. It's just not okay. I don't even know how people romanticize about them. I live in the city that say monster did most of the killing scene. That's the first thing a lot of people say when I mention being from there. Much more interesting things came from here, like Harley Davidson. Which city is that? Let's see. Harley Davidson. Let's check from which city it comes from. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay, from Milwaukee. Nice. It actually looks pretty nice place to be. Let's read one more comment for this and we'll continue into the subreddit. Sex on beaches and in hot tubs. Sand and chemicals are not your friends. Okay, I'll just not comment on that. Let's see what else we have in this subreddit. People born before around 1990. Well, I was born exactly on 1990, so maybe it's a question also for me. Often it's asked, what things do you think people born after then are worse off without? What's something you are glad young adults and kids today will never have to experience or understand? Well, I just can't figure that out. I think every generation has its benefits and downsides, like upsides and downsides. Maybe like, what's something you're glad young adults and kids today will never have to experience or understand? One thing that is, I think it's better now, like if I put myself in like in this school age, if I was going to school, and it is bullying. Like bullying back then, when I grew up as a kid, it was just something normal. Like there were bullies and there were bullied people in schools. I'm so happy that younger generations now, I mean, unfortunately there are still bullies, but we look at it from another perspective, as it should be. Let's see what people commented on this. Developing your film from your family's one vacation of the year, only to discover that your amazing photos were dark, blurry, red-eyed. Yeah, of course. I was thinking more global things, like more bigger things, but yeah, if you go into the details, yeah, everything related to technology, we just have everything in our pockets now. We have camera, we have music player, we have everything only in a phone in our pockets. But back then, when I used to grow up, everything was from separate devices. Yeah, I'm sure you know about that, but yeah. Losing childhood friends just because they moved. Yeah, it's also a bad thing, because if you didn't have like Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever mean of communication, like back then, if a friend of yours just moves away, especially if it moves far away, it's actually just, you can't reconnect with them, or it's difficult to reconnect with them, because you can text them, maybe you can call them, but come on. Okay, let's continue. To those that are married, how often do you take off your ring? Well, I'm married. I never take off my ring, so yeah. Why should I take it off? I don't know, maybe. I take it off when I'm working, especially without gloves, because degloving is a thing and I would like to have not happen to me. Yeah. When I used to work at some places, of course I take it off. Not on all my jobs, but yeah. Let's see one more comment on this. I take it off. Sound's voice. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. What's the most disturbing thing you've ever heard someone say completely casually? I don't know. I don't remember right now. Maybe. Let's see what people say. I have told this story before, but here is the horribleness once more. When I was around 16, I spent the afternoon with my younger cousin who had trouble reading. I spent a good amount of time with her, and we got through the first chapter of a high school book that I was reading. Nothing insanely difficult, but certainly more than she had ever read before. Eager to show off her newfound skills, she ran to her mother and father and proceeded to read the first paragraph. Her heartless bitch of a mother took the book out of her hands and gave it back to me and said, "Stop it. Reading is for smart people." Oh, man, that's horrible things to say. If you have children, one of the best things you can do for them is just encourage them and celebrate every single. Just celebrate everything that they accomplish. It doesn't mean it has to be something big, like lacing their shoes. If your kid completes this task, just celebrate it. It makes them like feel happy and accomplished, and it will just motivate them to this thing. They just make my blood boil. Like, wow. Yeah, the kids, especially the small ones, they just want to feel accomplished, and they're actually happy whenever they finish a task. Everybody's happy when you finish a task, but I mean, for something that's so small and regular for us that we do it automatically, when a kid makes it on their own, it's a big thing for them. So just celebrate it. This thing is really horrible. Wow, I hope your cousin is doing well in life right now. How awful. Not really. I mean, she was pregnant before high school was over and quit school. I ended up cutting off that side of family, but I would say I did not. That's so sad. That's so sad. Well, I don't know. It's a big topic. Maybe we'll discuss some other time, but I really think if a kid fails in life and just in general, 95% like for this failure, the parents are guilty, or the family, like how this person grew up. Yeah. Let's see one more comment. I met a guy who told me the story of how he beat his stepbrother to death with a sledgehammer when he was 13 years old. Long story short, he called her stepbrother touching his sister, handled it in a rogue way, and ended up serving 16 years in prison over it. Oof, just some horrible stories right here, yeah. Let's continue. Let's move on to the next one. What's the creepiest askreddit threads you have come across? Phew. This will be a pretty wild ride. As I said, I don't use so much of Reddit, so I don't have a story on this one. There was one that ask entertainers for children parties about wild stuff from these parties. The amount of children that ask fake Superman, Spider-Man, or fairy godmother to be taken away from abusive parents. Poof. It's the same thing. Like, if you see a grown person, like somebody who is a failure in life, well, everybody can change, of course, but we all know some person that didn't make it in life. Just look at their childhood. 100% of a chance the problem, all of their problems are hiding there. Honestly, those people living in your wall street still haunt me. I couldn't sleep after it. Well, I don't know what they're talking about, so let's move on. What's the lesson your last breakup taught you? Well, I had a breakup really long time ago, so I don't even remember. Also, this question was asked 2 minutes ago, so it doesn't have a comment, so let's continue. Redditors with extremely niche interest. What's the one thing you are completely obsessed with that almost no one else you know cares about? Oh, that's interesting thread. Let's see what are people commenting on this. If I have to answer this question, what's the one thing you completely obsessed with? Well, no one else you know cares about. Well, I don't know, but like, if I have to answer this question, like, I'm a fan of WWE, of wrestling, and when I grew up, when I was growing up, all of my friends, we were just crazy about it. And as we started growing up, it was just something we left, and it was just something for kids. We thought it was for kids, but like in me, I still keep my interest and I still enjoy it. So yeah, maybe that's I mean, it's not so niche, but or niche, I think it's pronounced in English. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's not so niche interest, but yeah, I just feel like a lot of people don't even know what it's all about, and it's okay. Everybody has it. It's his own or her own interest. It's anthroponymy. Anthroponymy, the study of history and etymology of human names. Whoa, that's nice. I didn't know. Well, I didn't know this was the name. I mean, I also. Okay. I mean, all of us we're interested in what our names mean and what other human names mean. So yeah, but I didn't know that it was called this way. There are name nerds, another online community, but most people there are either looking to name their child pet character or like to suggest what others should name their child pet character. I'm into deep research discussing etymology and history of names, and this is quite rare even online. Never met anyone into this in real life. I can tell you the etymology of most names that are more or less common in the Western world from memory. This is unfortunately a pretty useless skill though. Why? It's not useless, it's at least it's a really good icebreaker when you meet somebody. So it is not useless at all. Dead website blogs from the early 2000s, religious family blogs, small online cults. Yeah, there's people with different interests. I drink crows. Oh yeah. Crows are pretty smart. Maybe the smartest birds there are. Yeah, I think they're the smartest birds. You can train them to do a lot of things. In some countries, it is even prohibited to train them, because you can do so they can steal some things like necklaces or earrings or whatever jewelry. You can train them to do a lot of things. They're super smart, and they now protect my house and bring me gifts. Yeah, that's why. You can train them to bring you good gifts. It looks like the Adams Family mentioned sometimes. For people asking how to start, look at this post and check out. I already had crows on my property. Yeah, okay. It's good. It's just in some country, it is just not allowed to train crows. Okay, let's see what else is in this subreddit. If the Pentagon really recalls Mark Kelly to prosecute him, what precedent does that set for the free speech for all that? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not from America. I don't know who Mark Kelly is. So, yeah, let's continue. What's the clearest sign someone thinks they're smarter than you are? That's easy. Just, there's like the people who have this confidence and then they think they're smarter just stating facts. It is like something they heard on some show, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or they read on internet or whatever. They just stating this fact or without any context, without any explanation. They just put it there and they yeah, we're on this question. Yeah, sorry. I'm just thinking too much sometimes. Although I don't consider myself smart, so yeah. Yeah. If somebody thinks just the tone, how they speak to you, somebody thinks they're smarter than you are, you can just find the tone, just listen to how they speak to you, like in demeaning way. They don't know how to be wrong. Yes, exactly. And being wrong, it's okay, it's good, it's part of life. It's like I was just thinking, I'm saying like for so many times. Yeah, I have to try to stop. It's a parasite word, so yeah. They don't know how to be wrong. Yes, we are wrong 99% of time. We don't know what we don't know, as someone said. So yeah, they don't get curious about things they don't know about. Actually, intelligent people tend toward natural curiosity. They aren't curious because they're always right. Yeah, I also think so. Like intelligent people, they're curious. That's what makes you intelligent. Just wanting to know something. You learn, you read about something, and maybe that's what makes you intelligent. Speaking of this, I don't know who Mark Kelly is, but I'll Google him. Mark Kelly. And why is he even in this thread? Okay, he's politician. Mark Edward Kelly is an American politician, retired astronaut, and former naval officer serving as the senior United States Senator from Arizona. Okay, why is he in this thread? Mark Kelly, Democratic Senator Mark Kelly says he learned about Pentagon. Okay. This thing is in German. Pressed on whether he would refuse orders if he still. Let's see, Mark Kelly. Yeah. Party Brotherhood. Yeah. Mark Kelly news. Let's see. Who is Mark Kelly? S1. Mark Kelly and why is the US Senator accused of sedition? Who is Mark Kelly, Arizona Senator, yeah. According to Bruce Fein, a lawyer specialist, constitutional international law, who served as... Okay. So, Pentagon accuses him of misconduct. Okay, so we learned who Mark Kelly is, at least. Something we learned today. Let's continue. United States veterans, what are things about the military you didn't realize until you left? Let's see, this will be interesting. How much travel changes your view of the world? They certainly couldn't keep me down on the farm after I'd seen Paris. It is really true. We do not control where or when we are born. Or maybe we do, but that's a topic for another time. We do not control where are we born, but we were born and then we grow up in a community, in a country, and we are taught some ways. And when we go out of this place to another country or even to another city, we learn a lot of things. We learn that people live the same life but differently. They do things differently. And these things really make our space, like our knowledge, it expands it a lot. They say travel is the greatest cure of ignorance. Of course, because a lot of people see they're just how they're living there, this and that, but it is just something you see online or you read or you saw in a movie. But if you go to the place, to a different country, just feel it. It is totally another experience. You meet and make friends with people who you might not interact with before you join. Then together you have some of the greatest times you ever have in your life, and then one day it's just over. Well, I never been in the military, but yeah, I can imagine. We just go, you never interact with some people, then you meet there because of your duty, and then one day it's just over and you never meet this person. Yeah, I was also thinking about school, but yeah, this is also kind of true about for college, yeah. Okay, let's continue. What did that one teacher at your school get fired for? I don't know. I mean, in my schools, no teacher was fired for. Well, he didn't get fired for fucking a cheerleader. Not sure the administration knew. He didn't get fired for attending the football players' parties and supplying them with drugs. Again, not sure the administration knew. Yeah, maybe they didn't know. He didn't get fired when he was busted for public urination behind a local bar, but he did get fired when they found all of our final exams, final papers, and other assignments ungraded in his desk drawer when they moved his classroom over the summer. Turns out, he never graded anything and simply gave kids the grades he thought they should have. Oh. This is wild. Like, this person, yeah, this and football, yeah. Just horrible teacher. Horrible teacher. Actional crimes, not termination offenses, not doing your job, fired. Priorities. Yeah, sounds like it. Had CPU on his school computer. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Man, we're not going there. Drill instructors, what do you get? Hilarious, more outrageous in school when screaming out recruits. It's passed down. Okay. Well, I will not be doing. Let's see. Drill instructors. Some of it comes naturally, some is recycled. Sometimes you get surprised by your own words. My favorite and actually broke me. It was directed to me, but some formation next to me. Did you iron your shirt? Sir, yes, sir. Was it plugged in? Out loud, the push tips were worth it. That shit was funny. Yeah. What is a rich kid thing you saw at friend's house growing up that completely shocked you? Well, rich kid. When I was growing up, there was not so many computers around, so the first person who got a computer was considered a rich kid, and we all lost our minds about it. Rich kid. The money drawer. I heard a story from a coworker about the rich kid she grew up with. Instead of a junk drawer in the kitchen, they had a drawer filled with cash, tens, fives, some 20s. If any of the kids needed money, they just went to the drawer, basically the family petty cash drawer. Dad refilled it as needed, and they didn't make more than that because it was always there at the ready. Yeah, it's definitely a rich kid thing to have. Private movie theater that could fit. Yeah, of course. That's pretty rich. Yeah. That's something. I was more thinking about something more subtle. Like if you have a private movie theater, it's obvious. As a kid, those who had little jeeps, they could drive in. Yeah, of course. If you don't drink alcohol, what are your personal reasons for abstinence? Let's see, that's interesting. Once I start, I can't stop. Better just to not. That's the best reason to stop. Yeah. Yep. I cannot drink for days and then have one sip of beer, wine, or cocktail and instantly know I'm having at least 3 or 4 more minimum. It's very difficult for people like this to stop drinking or to stop a bad habit. Because you're used to it. It's easier for me to say no all of the time than some of the time. I haven't thought in this way, but yeah, of course. If you just say no all the time, and with time, if you decide to, let's say, stop alcohol, with time, when you always say no, then people around you, they also get the message and never offer you. Like if you just sometime yes, sometime no, they always ask you, and if they ask you, you decide if yes or no, and it won't be no all the time. But if you say no all the time, the people will just get used to it and never offer you anyway. It sours my stomach and makes me depressed. I'm 4 years of sobriety on Thanksgiving. Now, congratulations to this person. It's always a good thing to stop alcohol or a bad habit. I was drunk every night for 20 years. Every single... that's sad. It was a routine. If I didn't go to a bar, I sat at home and drank about a pint of vodka. I couldn't sleep without it. Over 2 years sober now. Do I miss it? Sometimes. However, I'm a diabetic and riddled with neuropathy due to the years of abuse. I don't miss it enough to continue poisoning myself. Yeah. Congratulations to this person for quitting, but it's actually the most difficult time to quit if you were like drinking for 20 years every single night. It is really difficult to stop. It's because of some health condition that scares you and then you stop, but it's really difficult because it's a habit that you had for 20 years. 20 years, man, this is wild. And it's really difficult to stop. I really hope this person is okay and they have like good health now and everything's okay. And really important thing, when they say, do I miss it? Sometimes. That's the thing with the bad habits. It is portrayed in movies and everywhere. If you just, for example, stop smoking, or if you stop drinking, then it just stop, and you never want to drink, you never want to smoke. It doesn't work like that. If you had this bad habit for such a long time, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work that you just say stop and it's over. You have to commit, and of course sometimes you want to drink again, you want to smoke again, but then you have to think what did you accomplish till now and what you want to accomplish for the future. 1 is too many and 12 isn't enough. If you start, there's not going back. Of course. What is the most, that's NSFW, what is the most physical pain you've ever experienced and how did it feel? Let's see if that's wild or not. Bulging disc, no spine pad with scatter radiating all the way down to my toes. Yeah, it sounds horrible. What's the most eerie and unexplained disappearance that you have read about? Let's think to something maybe more interesting. Do you think Reddit karma system gives you an unfair advantage to long-term users over new users? Why or why not? We're not discussing this Reddit politics, karma and stuff. Which TV show do you regret wasting time on? I was watching the TV show, how was it called? I totally forgot the name. It was a couple of years ago. Snowpiercer, yeah, about the train. I was watching the TV show, the Snowpiercer, and I was enjoying it, but it got a little confusing. Not confusing, but it escaped from its origins, and maybe that's why they didn't do a new season. But let's see what people say. I don't watch a lot of TV shows, so let's see. Riverdale, never watched it. That first season was legit so self-aware, hilarious, and then it makes mistake doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on everything and made it so much worse. I still say the first season is great, especially if you like Twin Peaks. Well, I can think of a show that, well, maybe we all regretted watching Game of Thrones just because of this ending. I mean, I don't regret wasting time on it because I really enjoyed it. The whole world was talking about it and enjoying it. But this last season in general, well, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But it made so that if you want to rewatch the show, I wanted to rewatch the show many times, but it sounds like a waste of time knowing that ending. And another show that did the same thing, How I Met Your Mother. I love that show. And just how it ended, it was horrible. Once Upon a Time, Season 7. I don't know, never watched it. Manifest, didn't watch. Heroes, I didn't watch. Ghost Hunters, Westworld, fucking Westworld. Westworld, I watched the first season. What happened then? I thought it was good. Well, maybe not so good that I continue watching it, but yeah. First season is on the Gold TV, yeah? Yeah. I enjoy it. And honestly, should have just been season 2 was half really. It should be miniseries, maybe, yeah. Season 2 was half really amazing and on par with the first, half middling crap, but I felt finished strongly. Season 3 was abysmal the way through. Yeah, season 4 was bad, but not near season 3. Yeah, okay, yeah. It happens often that a show has a strong first season and then it just falls. It's just because I think that sometimes when the people start doing a show, they don't know if it will be a hit or a miss. So they have an unexpected hit. They just have a story for one season. then this show is a hit, and they don't know how to continue, what to do with it. If it's not something based on books like Game of Thrones or something like that, yeah. Manifest American Horror Story after season 3. I saw a couple of episodes of American Horror Story. I think the first season. Yeah, I'm not much of a horror guy. Revenge, Walking Dead is another one. I was in for Walking Dead when it started. The first season was really nice. The second season, it was good. The third season, for me personally, it started to decline, and I don't know, I watched fourth and fifth maybe, and then I just stopped. It just turned to be something completely different from what it started. Okay, let's continue with this subreddit. People who got a happy ending massage, how did you feel afterwards? Well, we're not, or maybe I should. Let's see. Pretty uncomfortable and awkward since she just grabbed the thing and didn't ask. She was also a much older woman, and when I started to go soft, she put my hand on her chest, so hey, this will help. It didn't. Okay. I was shallow, empty experience, went back another time to confirm and may go again just to make sure. Yeah. If you know, you know. What is the best Insta karma you have ever witnessed? Ooh, this should be interesting. I worked at the service desk at a Sahir store many years ago. The managers were usually lazy and spent most of their time in the coffee shop, ignoring pages of assistance. A customer was at service desk demanding cash for an item she was returning after paying by check that day. In those days, a customer had to wait 10 days to be certain the check cleared before they could have cash back for a return. Yeah, she was having a holy fit demanding cash immediately. I paged the manager, and for once he showed up. He told me the customer to wait, and she stood there smirking at me. He went to the office, found her check, and handed it back to her. The look on her face was priceless. Yeah, it was maybe a scam then, yeah. Yeah, 100% attempt fraud, of course. Some kid overtook me. I was doing the speed limit in front of an elementary school. He did so by driving over the middle lane, used to turn left on both sides. Right after he passed me, a cop was driving the opposite way. The cop flipped a U-turn, turned off on his lights, flew by me and pulled him over. I drove by him slow and looked over at him to see his reaction. He was not happy. I was. It's just, I don't know. I don't like people who speed, especially at school zones or whatever. When I was about 12, I kicked my best friend and broke my leg. Yeah, that's instant karma. That's nice. Let's do one more. As you have been brave, so will I. Back in the early 2000s, you were... I don't know why I'm laughing, but yeah, I'm just laughing for the previous comment. I still allowed to smoke in clubs. I'd been shopping that day and spent pretty much my weekly wage on an expensive Zara jacket. Went clubbing and hung my coat on my chair in the chill-out area and was chatting and smoking with my friends. At some point, as I was wasted, I dropped my cigarette on the floor and couldn't be bothered to pick it up. A passerby tapped me and said, "You should probably pick up that cig and put it out. It's on someone's coat." I replied, "Well, they shouldn't have left their coat on the floor, should they?" The stranger shrugged and moved on. Later that night, as we were about to leave, I turned around in my chair to grab my jacket, and it's not there. I know, we all know where this is going. I must have knocked it off at some point, and it fell. Yeah, well, I dropped my cigarette on it. Had I picked it up when the stranger pointed it out, even karma, even you have this person who told you to pick it up and you still act rude, yeah, and arrogant, so yeah. There was a big hole burnt right through it, victim of my own unkindness and stupidity there. And, yeah, ignorance. We've all been there, done some stupid things, so yeah. Literally, that telling his kid loudly to get your head out of ass to watch what he was doing at all times. Then he walked right into the light pole and fell his ass. Okay, yeah, that's funny. What is some of the new lingo that annoys you for no reason? Lingo? Is this Duolingo? Is this about Duolingo? Graped as a euphemism for new lingo. Is this a slang for a language? Does it? Oh no, lingo. What is lingo? Language. Speech, especially a peculiar kind of speech, more or less unintelligible, or dialect. A strange inclusive language of speech. But does that mean that and corn and grape? So, okay. Okay, I think they mean lingo as this language on the internet, like if you do YouTube and or other form of platforms, you are not allowed to say some words, like, so you use this instead of the other one. Yeah, okay. Let's continue. What a skill developed purely of a spite. This should be interesting. Sewing as a child boy. Nice. He's brave as a child boy. I won a sewing kit in a counterfeit tombola raffle. I was happy just to have won something, but when I showed it to my family, my grandmother told me to give it to my sister because boys don't sew. But I was adamant. I paid for the ticket with my own money, so the prize was mine. My grandmother just laughed and said I just get bored of it because, again, boys don't sew. So I learned to sew out of pure spite. I am no tailor or seamstress, but I can fix a tear in a shirt. I've traveled a fair bit, and being able to repair clothing while on the road is a very underrated skill. But even 4 years later, people still amazed that a guy can sew. It's, I don't know, maybe in this new world, if you just break a t-shirt, you have a hole in your t-shirt or something, you just throw it. But in the older days, you just sew it and repair it, just sew it, and you just go. Because it wasn't like if you have a hole, just buy a new one. It wasn't like that before. And it's a really good skill to have, to be able to sew. It is okay. Let's see. Math. My 5th grade teacher told my caregiver that I would need special school for slow kids. Once I escaped my shitty home life, I put myself through a college bachelor in math, master's, currently statistician that all of those people look up to and ask for advice. I showed them. Yeah. Spite, out of spite. Yeah, that's a really good fuel to do something in anger. Like to show the world you can do it. It's really good. I mean, maybe not, it is not the most beneficial for you, but it's really strong things that can motivate you to do some stuff. Let's do one more. Math. As a kid, I learned how to vomit at will. No having to make myself gag nothing. If, when I need to, I can just make it happen. Okay. I don't know why, it's a bit of useless skill, but yeah. I couldn't write as fast as my peers, so I type faster than them. And I'll type 150 word per minute. The average person writes 42. That's really impressive. Nice. I myself, I used to write at about 60 words per minute, but I was writing really the wrong way. So I started to learn from zero how to place every single finger everywhere. So I know the struggle. And I'm still far away from 150. I'm doing like my better days, like 80, 85, something like that. But 150 words per minute, it's really nice. I can type 300 words per minute, but I get tripped. Whoa. Is that real? Whoa. Let's continue with this subreddit. It is interesting, askreddit. Really nice subreddit. You can learn some interesting things. What's your I can't believe other people don't do this hack? Windows plus V for clipboard history. I showed a coworker this last week and he looked at me like I invented fire. No. Does this work? I'm on Linux, so it may not work, but let's see. Windows or Command key V. Nothing happens. So maybe it's only on a Windows then, but I still didn't know it. Control Shift V. Paste without formatting. Strip all fonts. Control Shift. Really? Strip all fonts, colors, cells, styles, tables, and paste plain text. I firmly believe that they got it wrong when they made Control V. Paste with formatting. Without should be default. Paste without what? So let's see, I copy this here with Control C, Control V. And if I do Control Shift V, yeah, there is no format in this text, but yeah, that's why it's not working. Win key Shift S. Yes, I knew this one. Control backspace to delete the entire word at the time. I also know this one. But yeah, I didn't know Control V for clipboard. Okay. If I'm invited to a Christmas party where I have gifts for some friends, I wrap 2 boxes of chocolates and attach a blank name tag so that if I receive a gift from someone unexpectedly, I can quickly scribble their name and it looks like I had a gift for them the whole time. If I don't have to deploy the tactical chalk, then I have a nice treat for January. Well, it's a good hack, yeah, it's a really good hack. I always put my keys in the exact same pocket or spot at home. I haven't lost keys in years. My past self used to be a clown. My current self is a responsible adult. This one is really... How long do we have still? Oh no, we have only 6 minutes. Okay, we'll go then quickly. This is really good skill to have. It's not a skill to have, just make it your habit to just put your things on the exactly same places, like at home. If you come home, the first consciously, just put your keys somewhere, put your wallet somewhere on the same place every single time. After you do this 10 times, you just start to put them there unconsciously. And even if you think you lost them, they will be there. It's a nice hack to have. Let's do one comment more and we'll continue. Keep a running note of gift ideas for your loved ones year round. When holidays, birthdays, etc. roll around, it's a lifesaver. Keep another note of TV shows, movies, books, music, games, whatever else you want to get to when you have time and where do you find them if applicable. The next time you have spare time and can't think of what to watch, read, do, go to your list. Put days that matter to your loved ones in your calendar. not just birthdays and stuff like that. Anniversaries of loved ones passing, sober birthdays, milestones, make a point of reaching. So basically, write and keep note about everything. It is a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver to just, because one thing is to have everything in your head, and one thing is when some time passes, you just can read and see what you did, what you have to do, and some milestones and everything. To go orders, yeah. It just, yeah. Oh, let's continue with the subreddit. What is the best instant? We just read that. Lingo, we've been there. What food has the largest disparity between really good or really bad depending on who is making it? Well, I know something about food. 1 or 2 things. I'm telling you. Why did I close it? Another one. Control-Shift-T. It opens the close tab. Just a tip. A simple chicken breast. Amazing how many people either uncook it or overcook it to the point of being dry, sawdust and super tough. Yeah. Chicken breast, yeah. Because it's white meat and it's really difficult, really easy to make it wrong. Pork chop can really change whether you are eating cardboard at dinner. Yeah. Also, meats in general. Calamari, either heavenly or rubbery shit. Yeah. Meat. I had really fantastic scallops and some really horrible scallops. Yeah. Women who go out of controlling relationships, what small red flags didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but now screams run. It was posted 3 minutes ago, so we'll go to another one. What's the one question you're desperate to answer but no one has asked? Do I have one? Yeah. Other than what's the meaning of life? Yeah. I don't know. Question: what does it feel like to go from obese couch potato to running 5K races in your early 50s? Answer: amazing and terrifying. I've lost 30 pounds. I'm not used to the imperial system. Metric guy here. I ran 2 official races this season and did training runs between 3-4 days a week. I dropped 30 pounds, started sleeping better, and improved my yeah. Overall, just losing weight, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Every kilogram or every pound you lose, you just feel better. So, lose weight. Let's continue. Do you want snacks? Because yes, the answer is always yes. Everyone misread the... Are you okay? But my family doesn't give a shit how I feel, so that's sad. Okay, let's see a little bit more. As a man, what are the chances of finding love at 34? Pretty big. Yeah. You can find love at any age. Age doesn't matter in love. Your brain does. Your thinking does. You can find love at 34, at 43, at 83. It doesn't matter. If you have this need to find love, you will find it. Just keep searching for it. You obviously aren't from Jersey because 34 around here is young. You have time. Yeah. Because we are living until people live until 80, 90 years now. So 34 is pretty young still. It's not like it used to be back in time when people were dying at 34. Now you are still young. Plenty of people fall in love in their 30s. I might not be as fast, willing to romance like you. Yeah. Should have some. Yeah. The perception of love also changes with time. When you are in your 20s, love is just something that burns you inside. But when you are in 30s, love is more about calmness. Just, yeah. I don't know in 40s because I'm still not there, but yeah. I'm 33 and dating a 35-year-old guy, and we just said I love you to each other for the first time a couple of days ago. I see him again on Saturday. I can't wait. That's love. That is love when you can't wait to see somebody. That is love. And it doesn't matter how old are you. If you need love, you will find love. Maybe it won't be like in movies, but a lot of things are not like in movies. Oh, so we ended for today our subreddit, our askreddit subreddit. It was really interesting. We commented on some things. So thank you for watching, and until the next time. So thank you for watching, and until the next time.